Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Nadam Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudira. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavate Rottama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namne Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, Canto 4, Chapter 7, verse 39. जगतुद्भवस्थितिलयेषु दैवतो बहुविद्यमान गुणयात्ममायया रचितात्मभेदमतये स्वसंस्थया विनिवर्तित भ्रम गुणात्मने नमः. We offer our respectful obeisances unto the Supreme who has created varieties of manifestations and put them under the spell of the three qualities of the material world in order to create, maintain and annihilate them. So he's created varieties of manifestations and put them under the three modes. Mm. And Sattva is maintenance, Rajoguna is creation, Tamoguna is destruction. He himself is not under the control of the external energy. In his personal feature, he is completely devoid of the variegated manifestation of material qualities, and he is under no illusion of false identification. Mm. He is himself not under the three modes, under the external energy. His personal feature as Krishna is completely devoid of this material guna. He is nirguna, meaning he doesn't have any material guna, and is not under any illusion. Mm, this, Brahma, mm, Brahma guna, yeah. Two situations are described in this verse. One is the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of the material world, and the other is the Lord's own establishment, meaning his own position. There is also quality in the Lord's own establishment, the kingdom of God. It is stated here that Goloka is his personal situation. There is also quality in Goloka, but the quality is not divided into creation, maintenance, and annihilation. Um, in the external energy, the interaction of the three qualities make it possible for things to be created, maintained, and annihilated. But in the spiritual world or the kingdom of God, there is no such exhibition, since everything is eternal, sentient, and blissful. So only in the material world, these three modes are there. In the spiritual world, everything is there, but it is created. Um, it's been present eternally. So there is no influence of time in terms of or the gunas. There is a class of philosophers who misunderstand the appearance of the person regarded within this material world. They are under the impression that when the Supreme Lord appears, he is under the spell of the three qualities, like all other living entities who appear within this material world. So this is Mayavad. And this is Mayavad. That means that the Lord is under Maya, under the spell of Maya. Mm. And that is their misunderstanding, as it is clearly stated here. By his internal potency, he is transcendental to all these material qualities. And this is easy to understand for us because if when devotees also at a very advanced stage, they transcend the material mode. So even though they are present and there are material qualities all around them, they are not affected by them. So what to say of the Supreme Lord? So there's means just foolishness to think that Krishna is affected by the material modes just because he acts at on a platform which is easy for us to uh, like us. He acts on that platform. Yes, Vishnu he doesn't act on that platform. Vishnu he acts on the platform of Supreme Lord. He comes with four arms, etc. So there's no confusion, right? Yeah, Vishnu, they say, yeah, he doesn't have any material qualities. But when it comes to Krishna, people still think he has material qualities because he acts like one of us. So it's just his mercy that he wants us to relate to him so closely, so dearly that he comes, like one of us. That's a special mercy. but people misunderstand. Similarly, in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord says, I appear Atma Maya by my internal potency. Both the internal and external potencies are under the control of the Supreme. So he does not come under the control of either of these potencies, mm, because they are under his control. He is not under the control of his energies. Rather, everything is under his control in order to manifest his transcendental name, form, quality, pastimes, and paraphernalia. He brings into action his internal energy. On account of the variegatedness of the external energy, there are manifestations of many qualitative demigods, beginning with Brahma and Lord Shiva, and people are attracted to these demigods according to their own material quality. So there is variety in the external potency. So there are different classes of jivas, etc. But when one is transcendental or surpasses the material qualities, he is simply fixed in the worship of the Supreme Personality. This fact is explained in Bhagavad Gita. Anyone engaged in the service of the Lord is already transcendental to the variegatedness and interaction of the three material qualities. Summary is that the conditioned souls are being pulled by the action and reaction of the material qualities, which create a differentiation of energies. But in the spiritual world, the worshipful one is the Supreme Lord and no one else. Uh, it's a little bit technical purport. This is language is technical. But sum and substance is that there is external energy, there is internal energy. External energy has variety, and it is divided into classified into three modes: sattva, rajas, tamas. The Lord is completely transcendental. Anything connected with the Lord is completely transcendental. So neither the Lord is under the influence of material qualities, nor his abode. And even in his abode, there is variegatedness. But that variegatedness is spiritual. It's not similar to the variegatedness of the material world. Mm. So that's all the sum and substance here is. Mm, yeah. So all is spiritual world is all come into existence by his internal energy. And this is important. When one is transcendental, surpasses the material qualities, he is simply fixed in worship of Supreme Personality. And this is an important thing because uh, worshipping the Supreme Personality means like worshipping Krishna, right? Um, of course, like our acharyas are because they are very much fixed on this parampara, and this parampara is about Radha Krishna worship. Mm. So they even discourage worshipping other forms of the Lord, like Narayana, Narayana, Lakshmi, Rama, Sita. They even discourage worship of other forms, and they say it is only Krishna because this is Krishna consciousness. Yeah, but it's okay if somebody is naturally attracted to other forms. Um, but we should just be fixed in on the Vishnu Tattva. Mm. We should not worship other forms of demigods or etc. Yeah, conditioned souls are pulled by the action and reaction of material qualities. Mm. So we are pulled. We keep experiencing this every moment. And Prabhupada here says that one who is engaged is above. One who is engaged in devotion service is above all this. Of course, it takes some time. It doesn't mean that, overnight we just start engaging in devotional service and we will raise above the pulling and pushing of the material modes. It takes some time. This is the anartha nivritti. Once the anarthas are all gone, then we transcend the modes. Then we come to the stage of nishta. But till then, there is this pushing and pulling which will happen. And yeah, we have to pray, beg for mercy, try, put effort, do all possible things so that we don't succumb to the pulling and pushing. Many times we do succumb, but again we have to pull ourselves up. Again try, with full sincerity, with full surrender to come out of this pushing and pulling. Come out of pushing and pulling, meaning there will be pushing and pulling, but we don't get affected by that. Dhira. Uh, and different devotees are pushed and pulled by different things. Some, yeah, I mean, each person's situation is different. Somebody is attached to wealth, somebody is attached to family, somebody is attached to uh, whatever position, etc., etc. So each person, each devotee will have his or her own struggles with respect to this pushing and pulling. But either way, the approach is the same. Just completely surrender to Krishna, depend on him, surrender to Guru's instructions, and keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. And irrespective of, even if we get affected by this pushing, pulling, we should still continue to remain fixed in our devotion, try to increase our devotion. That attempt has to continue. Mm. And at some point of time, by the power of the devotional process, these things will all go away. That we've already seen. I mean, many things have already gone away. Small, small. I mean, which were not very big for us. Those things have gone away. For example, eating onion, garlic, or coffee, tea, coffee, or etc., etc. Then there are certain other big things which are still there, which are pushing and pulling us. But eventually, yes, it will all end. It will all go, and then we'll come to Nishta, which is actually liberated state, and then we are on our way back, back home, back to Godhead. So yeah, till then, little bit patience, perseverance, enthusiasm, mm, association of devotees, all this is important. And at least one thing we should make sure is that we should not encourage this pushing and pulling. We should not fuel this pushing and pulling. Mm, yeah, I like ice cream. It should not be that I keep going and standing in front of the ice cream shop every now and then. Obviously, then I'll get pulled. Mm. So we should not encourage, we should not fuel this pushing pulling. That is one very important thing we should try to avoid. Anything else anybody wants to add? This pushing and pulling business. Okay. ब्रह्मोवाच नमस्ते श्रितसत्त्वाय धर्मादीनां च सूतये निर्गुणाय च यत् काष्ठां नाहं वेदापरेऽपि च. The personified Vedas said, we offer our respectful obeisances unto you, the Lord, the shelter of the quality of goodness, and therefore the source of all religion, austerity, and penance. For you are transcendental to all material qualities, and no one knows you or your actual situation. So we offer your respectful obeisances, for you are transcendental to all material qualities, and no one knows you or your actual position. Mm. And the Supreme Lord is the shelter of the quality of goodness, and therefore source of religion, austerity, and penance. So mode of goodness means religion, austerity, and penance. So each and every jiva, glorifying the Lord in their own way, uh, based on what role they are playing in Krishna's creation. This is Vedas, personified Vedas. So they are, you know, glorifying the Lord in a particular way. In the material world, there's the trinity of the three material qualities. Lord Vishnu has accepted the superintendence of the quality of goodness, which is the source of religion, knowledge, austerity, renunciation, opulence, etc. Of course, these details we will read in Bhagavad Gita only when there's discussion about the three modes. Because this, because of this, actual peace, prosperity, knowledge, and religion can be attained when the living entities are under the control of the quality of goodness in the material world. So this is another thing. While we have to transcend the modes, first is we have to transcend tamoguna, then come to rajoguna. Then transcend rajoguna, come to tattvaguna, which is very much favorable for devotion. And also a person will experience peace, prosperity, knowledge, religion, etc. on the platform of goodness. But then we shouldn't be satisfied with that. We should go beyond that and transcend even goodness. As soon as they're subjected to the control of the other two qualities, namely passion and ignorance, their precarious conditional life becomes intolerable. It's very precarious. Anything can happen. So we should try to be away from these modes of passion and ignorance. We should try to be away from people who are in mode of passion and ignorance. Uh, and try to associate with people who are more in the quality of goodness or transcended quality of goodness also. That is a kind of association we have to seek. But Lord Vishnu, in his original passion, is always nirguna, position is always nirguna, which means transcendental to these material qualities. Guna means quality and nir means negation. This does not indicate, however, that he has no qualities. He has transcendental qualities by which he appears and manifests his pastimes, but he doesn't have material qualities. The positive transcendental qualitative manifestation is unknown to the students of the Vedas as well as to great stalwart demigods like Brahma and Shiva. Actually, the transcendental qualities are manifested only to the devotees. Of course, here when Prabhupada is saying great stalwart demigods like Brahma and Shiva, mm, he just like more referring to their positions. Of course, the Brahma and Shiva are also devotees, not all, but mostly they are devotees. So, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, simply by discharging devotional service, one can understand the transcendental position of the Supreme Lord. Those who are in the mode of goodness can partially enter into the transcendental understanding, but it is advised in Bhagavad Gita that one has to surpass this. The Vedic principles are based on the three qualities of the material modes. One has to transcend the three qualities, and then one can be situated in pure and simple spiritual life. So, what is of relevance for us? We have to come to mode of goodness. When we are under the control of passion, ignorance, our situation is very precarious. Vishnu is free of all material qualities. It's very difficult to understand the Supreme Lord. Only devotees can understand this. Bhaktya mam vijanati. And when we come to mode of goodness, we partially enter into the transcendental understanding. But full understanding, we have to transcend the modes. One has to transcend the three qualities and then can be situated in pure and simple spiritual life. So spiritual life cannot be impure or mixed, and spiritual life cannot be complex. It's simple. Simple living, high thinking. So we should not complicate our life by getting stuck with too many things, too many material projects we get involved. No, we should keep it pure and simple. Spiritual life means pure and simple. The extent that we are impure, to that extent we are not in spiritual life. And also very, we have to simplify our life. Can somebody give some examples of how we can simplify or how we should simplify our life? What does the simplification mean?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, like
Yeah.
we were using so much comfort. Like I could say, like I used to travel like via car, like even for the nearest distance also. Like I prefer more comfort. Like
Yeah.
like wherever you go, like even it's a walkable distance, I used to go in a car. So even for bringing even small activities like bringing milk packets or curd in my like during in my home. So I was preferring more comfort.
Yeah.
So that kind I can relate to.
Okay. Others?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Whatever we have to satisfy.
Sorry?
Whatever we have to satisfy. Whatever we are having food or we are using, we have to satisfy. So,
Your voice is breaking, Prabhu. You're saying we have to be satisfied?
yeah, whatever we have.
Okay. Whatever we have, we have to be satisfied. Okay. Okay, anything else? Actually, we should simplify. See, this word simplify is very important. It's not that uh, simplify basically means not getting entangled, dependent on this modern material world. This is simplification. Meaning, for example, I mean, of course, this example I've given multiple times, gadget dependency, dependence on gadgets is complicating life, right? Just as much as less as required. Mm. Simple, yeah. Mm. See, our acharyas, they've shown by example. For example, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, they were so wealthy. They were so wealthy, but they actually gave up everything. Not initially, but at a certain time they gave up everything because they thought that that is not going to enable them to live a pure spiritual life. So they gave the position. So we have to be careful, right? Like, so even if nowadays people have money, right? So it's like very few people who don't have money, right? So there's a lot of money. And it doesn't mean that we have to remain in that on that platform itself. And sometimes willingly we have to give up. We have to give up. Um, yeah, it could be anything. For example, like I said, somebody may be gadget, somebody might be ornament, somebody might be cars, somebody might be yeah, maybe yeah, whatever else. Right? As much as is required, only we should try to keep, right? Because see, otherwise, what will happen is we'll simply keep getting entangled in this. Um, so the city life itself is sufficiently entangling, right? On top of that, if we make things, uh, if we keep things that are not really required for us, it doesn't help us. Yeah, I mean, I've done some things like, for example, uh, getting rid of cot, for example. I mean, it just makes things very simple. Mm, some things like this. It's just whatever we think we are attached to, which is not very conducive or favorable to Krishna consciousness, we should try to give up. Mm. Of course, it should not be. None of this should be artificial. None of this should be artificial. And then some devotees say, no, no, but our acharyas talk about Yukta Vairagya. Yeah, of course, if you're able to practice Yukta Vairagya, nothing like that. What does Yukta Vairagya mean? I have a lot of money, I'm going to use all that money for Krishna. That is Yukta Vairagya. Right? Or if I have so much of comfort, whatever, I'm going to use it only for Krishna. That is Yukta Vairagya, not for my sense gratification, my comfort, my this, my that. But our situation is that we are not at that elevated state. We are in a fallen state. So though, yeah, if we have money, comforts, etc., we tend to use it for our own happiness, our own satisfaction. So, and that will make it impure. So, better simplify so that there are no chances of getting stuck at all. Mm. Um, but yeah, it's a journey. It's a journey for everybody. Yeah, at the end of the day, we have to understand the bottom line is that I should be attached to Krishna and Krishna loving devotional service. That's all, right? If anything else in my life is attracting me, keeping me entangled, and that is bondage. That we have to simplify. That we have to think and simplify. Mm, yeah, and it's introspection, personal introspection for all devotees. All of us have to think in our own lives. What things am I attached to? Can I simplify my life, etc. Right? I don't want to name, but one devotee couple asked me saying that, everybody is telling us, we should buy a car. Should we buy a car? Hmm. I said, do you need it? They said, no, we don't feel the need for it. I said, then don't buy. They have the money to buy it. It's not like they don't have the money to buy it. So like this, of course, somebody else might have a need for it, so they might buy it. So things like this, we have to be very, very intelligent To say, okay, if something is absolutely required, okay, fine. I mean, go. Otherwise, it's not that we should not, but we shouldn't get entangled. If you have the strength not to get entangled, then no problem, right? But if you're going to get entangled, then it's just a material thing which is now holding us back. So we have to be careful. Um, so there is no single prescription for everybody. It's a general direction. It's a general instruction, pure and simple. What that actually means for in the life of each devotee can be different, right? So yeah. So and which is why for all this, we need to have expert guidance of the spiritual master, right? Or very elevated devotees who can help us understand what is simple. Is my life simple? Not simple? Mm. Now, one principle I follow in my life, I mean, again, not that it is a universal prescription, is to have bare minimum material assets. Bare minimum doesn't mean nothing. At the same time, doesn't mean mm, that to the extent of how much I can afford, right? So, bare minimum, and I push very hard, to make sure that we don't possess things which are not required. Mm. And how do we know whether we possess things which are not required? There will be many things in our house which is there, which is not being used at all. And normally people look at it as, at least we used to look at it when we were changing houses. If we are in our own house, then though we won't know at all what is there where. Mm. So when you're changing house, at least we can see, oh, this is not required, that's not required. I have not used this for the last 6 months. If you have not used something for the last 6 months, maybe you will never use it, right? So things like this, bringing our own approach to make sure that we not we just not hoarding, accumulating things and complicating our life. Uh, yeah, it's important because otherwise we can't transcend these modes. Because we will just be stuck in material thought process only. Mm. Suppose so there's if there's a housewife and she has to take care of so many things in the house. The more things there are in the house, the more challenges, right? This broke down, that broke down, something else has to be taken care. This has to be. So what happens all the time? No time for spiritual life, right? Just maintaining the house itself, it becomes one big project. So not like that, We should just keep as minimal as required. Mm. Any thoughts? Anybody? Okay. अग्निरुवाच यत्तेजसाहं सुसमिद्धतेजा हव्यं वहे स्वध्वर आजसिक्तं तं यज्ञियं पञ्चविधं च पञ्चभिः स्विष्टं यजुर्भिः प्रणतोऽस्मि यज्ञम्. Fire god said, "My dear Lord, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you because by your favor I am as luminous as blazing fire, and I accept the offerings mixed with butter and offered in sacrifice." See, the fire god, Agni, he is acknowledging, oh, it's because of you that I have got my strength. He is not proud, saying, because of you I have got my strength. The five kinds of offerings, according to Yajurveda, are all your different energies, and you are worshipped by five kinds of Vedic hymns. Sacrifice means you, the Supreme Person of Godhead. So, because he is Agni, he is taking all the swaha, swaha. So, he's in his position, he is glorifying the Supreme Lord. In Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly said that yagna should be performed for Lord Vishnu. Hmm? Lord Vishnu has 1,000 popular transcendental names, Vishnu Sahasranam, out of which one name is Yagna. It is clearly said that everything should be done for the satisfaction of Vishnu or Yagna. Yagnarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha. Lokoyam karma bandhanaha. If you don't do that, all other actions will be only causes for bondage. Everyone has to perform yagna according to the Vedic hymns. As stated in Upanishads, fire, the altar, the auspicious full moon, the period of 4 months called Chaturmasya, the sacrificial animal, and the beverage called Soma are necessary requisites, as are the specific hymns mentioned in the Vedas and composed of 4 letters. One hymn is as follows: Ashavayeti Chatur Aksharam Astu Shaushad iti Chatur Aksharam Yajeti Vabhyam Yajamaha. These mantras chanted according to the Shruti and Smriti literatures are only to please Lord Vishnu. For the deliverance of those who are materially conditioned and attached to material enjoyment, performing yajna and following the rules and regulations of the four divisions of society and of spiritual life are recommended. So this is very, very important. Unfortunately, not much focus is going on this. For deliverance of those who are materially conditioned and attached to material enjoyment. Why didn't Prabhupada say bhakti is the way? Prabhupada did not say bhakti is the way here, na? We should understand Prabhupada's vision is that for those who are very materially conditioned and attached to material enjoyment, you have to give them yagna and varnashrama. This is what he's saying here. Following the rules and regulations of four divisions of society and spiritual life means varna and ashrama rules and yagna. This is what we have to give those who are materially conditioned and attached. He could have just said give them bhakti, but he's not saying that. And that is the reason why Prabhupada said 50% of my work is not being done. Bhakti is only for those who are. Yesterday I was also hearing His Grace Sarbhama Prabhu day before. He was telling, saying that there are pious people. There are pious people out there. For pious people, bhakti, right? But that number will always be less. Impious people are only more, right? So for them, impious means basically materially conditioned, attached to material enjoyment. For them, it is varnashrama because they will not accept bhakti. They will not accept bhakti. Whatever we do, we are doing all kinds of fancy stuff to attract people. Now, how much ever we do, they don't get attracted to bhakti. They will get attracted to the externals. Like yesterday we were discussing, okay, there is music. I am getting attracted to the music, but not to the nama. So they will not make progress because they're going to keep doing live a sinful life, and they keep falling down. Right? Deterioration. But if you give them varnashrama prevents them from living a sinful life. So they are protected. It becomes like a net for them, safety net. But if we try to give them bhakti, diluted bhakti for attracting them, they might not get fully attracted also. It's just okay, one evening, oh, good evening we had. What was that evening? Oh, some music, some food. They will never say we were part of a kirtan, we had prasadam. Right now, what is the use of this? Yeah, maybe out of those thousands and lakhs of people, maybe a handful of them might come get attached to bhakti. But for that, should we do all kinds of dilutions in pure devotion? We should not. So the process is that you give them one ashrama. You give them a society, so structure of a society which will actually prevent them from living a sinful life, which will enable them to live a pious life. Then they are protected. That is the goal. That is the design of the Supreme Lord. But unfortunately, today we think that for everybody, bhakti is there for everybody. Of course, bhakti is there for everybody, but not everybody will take it. This also we have to understand. We know so many people who come, who get initiated, but they don't follow any rules. They don't follow any rules. I mean, even chanting 16 rounds is like just namesake. I mean, just, yeah, because I have to chant 16 rounds. But they don't really have any attraction to serious devotional life. But if there is some festival, they'll come. Why? Enjoyment. But they're not seeing any of these as really devotional activities. So it's not going to help them. It's not going to help them. Only if somebody sees these things as devotional activities and does some of these things with devotion, then there will be an impact. Otherwise, they will remain conditioned. So pious people will take up bhakti very soon. So we have to identify pious people, right? Those are people who go to temple, etc., pious people. But then there are material sense gratifiers. For them, it'll all just enjoyment, another form of enjoyment. They are not going to come to bhakti, even if we give them whatever flavor they want. It is said in the Vishnu Purana that by offering service to Vishnu, one can gradually be liberated. That is why Varnashrama. The whole target of life, therefore, is to please Lord Vishnu. So the another way to actually deliver these people is to get them to regularly donate for the cause of Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna. Because then their earning is purified. That is a very powerful process. Right. So somehow or the other, if we make them give money every month for Krishna, then that will also purify them. But simply giving them music and food is not going to help. The whole target of life, therefore, is to please Lord Vishnu. That is yajna. Any person who is in Krishna consciousness dedicates his life for the satisfaction of Krishna. And by offering worship and prasada daily, he becomes the best performer of yajna. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is clearly stated that in Kali, age of Kali, yajna sankirtana, prior best type of sacrifice is to simply chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This yajna is offered before the form of Lord Chaitanya, as other yajnas are offered before the form of Lord Vishnu. This is all we need to do. We don't have to do all these other yajnas. Because all these other yajnas are offered before the form of Lord Vishnu. And like I said, our acharyas want us to stick to Krishna. So Krishna, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Lord Chaitanya. This is our movement. Not this yagna, that is not our movement. These recommendations are found in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Moreover, this yagna performance confirms that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Vishnu himself. As Lord Vishnu appeared at the Daksha Yagna long ago, Lord Chaitanya has appeared in this age to accept our Sankirtana Yagna. So Prabhupada is so clearly saying our focus needs to be Sankirtana Yagna. But instead of doing this, we are giving so much focus to these other yagnas and this mantra and that mantra and all that. It's not required. It's very, very clear that, of course, doing it, is it wrong? No, it's not wrong, but it's not our sampradaya. It's not our sampradaya. Our sampradaya is regularly, unless there are some very special occasions like a temple opening, etc. Some more Vedic rules and regulations can be, adopted. But generally, Prabhupada said, even the arti that we offer is being accepted by the Lord just because there is Sankirtan along with it, accompanying it. And so Sankirtan is really our main focus, right? Main activity, Sankirtan. And day before class by Sarvabhauma Prabhu was very nice in the temple. So he was saying that our mood should be Nagar Sankirtan, Prasadam, book distribution, right? This should be our mood. Nagar Sankirtan, Prasadam, book distribution, automatic preaching. This is why, because he said, see, all those people who are not qualified, you give them Prasadam, and somebody hears Harinam, even if they are not ready to accept Hare Krishna or, all this, at least even through Nama Bhas, they will get benefit. So somehow we have to do this, but we have to go out and do in the streets. Nobody is going to come. Very few people are going to come, right? And if you call them, say, come to the temple, come here, come there, not many will come. We have to go out on the street. So one of the things that we are actually in our preaching, we are going to instill this mood is every week devotees will create devotee groups, and every week there should be at least one of these. At least there should be either a Nagar Sankirtan or there should be book distribution. Not there should be prasadam distribution. One of these should happen, because this is the mood of Lord Chaitanya. This is the mood of Srimati Radharani. We are coming close to Sri Radhastami, September 11th. And what is Radharani's mood? Radharani's mood is getting everybody to serve Krishna. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the mood of Radharani, told us what is that process in Kali Yuga. How to bring everybody to serve Krishna is through Sankirtana. So it's a very deep connection. If we are attracted to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, that is Radharani's mission. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the mood of Radharani. So we have to understand this. It's so intricate, that if we simply want to please Radharani, what should we do? Sankirtan Yagna. Just go out, chant Hare Krishna, distribute books, give prasadam. That's all we need. How difficult is this? Somebody might say, oh, no, prasadam, we don't have money. Why we don't have money? Krishna will send. There's no question of not having money. Krishna consciousness means there's no question of not having money. Yes, Krishna sometimes wants us to put some little bit effort for his pleasure. That's all. But money will come. Somebody might say, oh, I don't know how, I don't have a lot of singers. Play Prabhupada Dun, Sankirtan. His voice attracted the whole world. Why will it not attract? It doesn't have to be live Sankirtan. If it is possible, it's good. Book distribution, nobody can say we cannot do. All great book distributors have said, simply you don't even, of course, if you're convinced, if you're ready, you're convinced, it will be much easier. But simply make somebody touch the book, you will get benefit. Make somebody open the book and read one line, you will get benefited. So our movement is mercy distribution movement, not mercy withholding movement. Mercy distribution will happen only when we go out. And devotees are very, very, sometimes, they don't know who, Prabhu, this is all too much. We don't have time for this. And what are we doing in Sankirtan, in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement? If you don't have time to go out, we are chanting Hare Krishna at home. But that was not what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted us to do. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted us to chant. That is just for our purification, so that when we go out and spread the movement, it will be more effective. That's all. But we don't have that compassion. We are still in selfish state of mind, right? We are just simply worried about ourselves. So Sarvabhauma Prabhu was saying, if you want special mercy, just go out. Simple. If you want special mercy, go out and preach. Go out and distribute books. Go out on Harinam. Go out on Prasadam distribution. Right? So it's up to us. Many times, devotees feel, oh, there are too many things, too many services. But I always try to bring their attention to saying, see, we are doing not things which are not required, things which are absolutely required for what? For pushing forward Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, because by doing this, two things will be accomplished. One is people will get mercy and we will also get mercy. So we are not doing this just for somebody's, satisfaction. It's for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord, because he wants it. So when we do it, we will obviously make progress, and of course we will distribute mercy. So two things happen by just one activity. But if you are sitting at home and chanting, yes, it might benefit us, but it's not going to benefit anybody else. So very, very important. See, Lord Chaitanya has appeared to accept our Sankirtan. So we have to do this as much as possible, as much as possible. Do authentic Sankirtan. It will have huge impact. In our center, we don't have anything else. We have only Bridanga, Kartal, and Wampar. That's it. No other instruments. No other instruments are allowed. It's a rule, right? And we can see the purity of the Kirtan. So many devotees say, it's just there's so much bliss, because there's nothing else. There's just simple rules. Those rules are followed for the pleasure of the Lord. That's it. Okay, I'll stop here. If anything anybody wants to add? Yeah, Shashank.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, just like, I don't know whether this question is relevant, but I was feeling to ask Prabhu, like,
yeah,
you were explaining, like, anarthas will go, like, how can we even track the progress, Prabhu? Like, how can we
like, good question. Yeah, how can we track if you're making progress? Attraction to Krishna has to increase. A simple way to judge whether we are making progress is whether our attraction towards Krishna is increasing. When attraction to Krishna increases, that means that attraction to Krishna's service increases, attraction to Krishna's nama increases, attraction to Krishna's to books increases, reading increases. And automatically when this attraction increases, we know that we are making progress, that our anarthas are reduced. Because anarthas keep us away from Krishna. Right? So it's a very simple thing to understand. Is that okay?
Yeah, bro. Thanks, bro.
Okay, anything else? Okay, we'll end here. Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhyasta Kripa Sindhubhyaya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.